Raiders get that dub. Let's talk about it.
Genty springs free. Turns on the Jets, one guy to beat. Bayer can't bring him down. And the rookie.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy D Nice with I2G Radio and Viva Las Raiders podcast. Back at it. We are doing our Raiders Titans recap show. It's not going to be a long show here. Took a little time to kind of digest the game and just wanted to talk about it. Urge everyone, like, comment, and subscribe to I2G Radio. That's the letter I, the number 2, the letter G, Radio. Also, check this out on YouTube, Viva Las Raiders. That's Viva Las Raiders podcast on YouTube. Raiders get the W 20-10 in a very sloppy game from the offensive side, but a very dominant defensive performance that was put on today by the Raiders. Really, in all aspects, the team was much, much better, executed better, even down to special teams. So we're going to go here quickly, get into the numbers. There was a play where Geno Smith had got hit as he was throwing the ball. There was a fumble that was then overturned. Really was kind of the only play there in the first half where you kind of thought maybe Tennessee would kind of flip the switch, make the play. That would have made it 7-3. But the Raiders defense really was a highlight. But we'll start on the offensive side of the ball. Another really bad first half for the Raiders offensive line. They kind of got things a little better in the second half. Geno Smith was sacked 3 times. He did have a really nasty interception. But he also had Jeffrey Simmons right in front of him, one of the best defensive tackles in the game. I was thoroughly impressed with Jeffrey Simmons. That dude is definitely top 3 defensive tackle. Raiders need a defensive tackle like that, so I'm hoping in the draft they can get that addressed probably within the first 3 rounds. But the offensive line, kind of really minus Jackson Powers-Johnson, was really getting worked at times. But Raiders were able to use the run game effectively and also the short passing. I had said I thought that would be a factor in the Raiders for this game. In some previous pods that had talked about it. But, yeah, they were really able to effectively get that short passing game going. Michael Mayer had a great game, 5 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown, one of his better games as a Raider. Trey Tucker was, again, he's showing why he is our number 1 receiver. 5 receptions, 70 yards, long of 37 yards. He had a lot of first down causing plays and catches to extend drives. He had a great chemistry with Geno Smith. Jacoby Myers, 4 receptions, 39 yards. I don't know, his body language, just in blocking, and I don't know about Jacoby Myers. I don't know if it's trades coming up, what's going on, but he doesn't look the same. Definitely. And like I said, I know he's contract negotiations. I am not here to talk about another man's money. So, but however they can, hopefully amicably come to something, or, but it's looking like that they may be possibly moving him by the trade deadline. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But regardless, he had a decent game today. Ashton Genty, 2 receptions for 11 yards. But game ball definitely goes to him. One of the game balls on the offense goes to him. 23 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. I really felt if the line was blocking a little bit better, he could have easily went over 100 yards. But, he's keeping pace. I think now he should be pretty close or over 400 yards for the season. I'll definitely fact check and look into that. But yeah, really had a good game here against the Tennessee Titans. Was impressed with him. It wasn't an easy game to get plays here. So yeah, he'd be like 425 yards. So right at or around, he was coming into the game, he was the 8th leading rusher in the NFL. So he's right to task for me. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. When I go and talk about my Chiefs-Raiders preview, Ashton Genty's going to be a big factor in that game if the Raiders are going to come out with a W in Arrowhead. But that is for later in the week. Like I said, 171 yards through the touchdown to Mayer. Also had the interception. They kept it simple. Simple dump-off passes. I even seen a screen, which I was waiting for this game. Jack Besh I think he got more snaps than Jacoby Myers in this game, but definitely helped in the blocking game. Second half, offensive line did look a little better, but, they got to shore that up, especially going up against the Chiefs and Chris Jones. I could see Chris Jones having a career game on this offensive line. So they've got to figure things out. I don't know if they're going to add a fullback or an additional tight end. I think they're going to probably be heavy on 13 personnel. But all in all, it was kind of be conservative with the game. Don't make any turnovers, and get your points where you can. But the defense, this was one of the best defensive games I've seen from the Raiders probably since last year or 2 years ago when they were playing the Giants after the Josh McDaniels was fired on Halloween. After that, the play of the defense, this game today reminded me a lot of it. Max Crosby, I'm going to say all season, it's all about the 3 Musketeers on the defense. It's Tyree Wilson, it's Max Crosby, excuse me. I also wanted to put Malcolm Kuntz in there. He doesn't look like he looks like he's kind of lost his step. He's not as fast and explosive we've seen in the past, but Tyree Wilson has definitely been picking up the slack. He had a fumble recovery, a lot of pressures today. He was very, very active. Max Crosby was Max Crosby, 2 sacks. There's rumblings, he doesn't look as good as he has in the past, and he's been banged up also. But when you've got running mates, Jonah Lalulu, now 4 sacks on the season. He's been a pleasant surprise, especially in the wake of the Raiders losing Christian Wilkins at the top of the year. I was expecting, big time things from this defensive line if Wilkins would have played, but different story. We all know how that went down, so we have to move on. But he was very disruptive. He had a sack, 5 sacks for the unit as a whole. Devin White was amazing. He looked like Tampa Bay Buccaneers Devin White all over the field, had a sack, forced fumble, which gave the Raiders the football at the 3-yard line. Had an interception as well. He was flying and he was all over the place. This is the Devin White, and he's been pretty consistent this year, just very shaky in coverage, really bad in coverage. But again, I don't bring a player like a Devin White here to cover. I have him all over the field making plays because he is a athletic freak. I definitely hope moving forward they can give him hopefully an extension. He continues to play well. I mean, you definitely got the rest of the season to evaluate him, but I'm hoping Devin White is a mainstay that is here. Jamal Adams as well, all over the place. Coverage was a little better by the secondary this game, which it could be because now you have a consistent pass rush, completely transforms your defense. That's why I said, Tyree, Max, and Kuntz really are kind of those main three guys. If you can get those guys generated and going, and it doesn't, you would love it to be all three of them at the same time. Hopefully, you can eventually get to that as we get to the midpoint of the season. But when you've got those guys and you've got that energy, you can really make havoc for the quarterback and really kind of increase takeaways. This is what a takeaway needed football game for the Raiders in all phases. Interceptions, sacks, pressures, 3 and outs. They were phenomenal all game. Titans did score a touchdown later in the game, but I felt for the most part, fairly comfortable in watching the game. Raider games are always close, win, lose. Sometimes I've seen ties, but not too many blowouts. I wouldn't say this game was a blowout, but I definitely felt with how the defense played that it really kind of kick-started and got the offense going. But it was a much-needed game, and both are going to need to complement each other next week, Kansas City. Big shout out and honorable mention to the special teams. Really had a bounce back game today. Daniel Carlson had 2 field goals. Still steady Eddie for me. I think that makes him 11 for 14 on the season. He's kicked a lot of field goals already. Definitely going to need him and his consistency moving forward. Was thankful to the big baby Jesus that A.J. Cole avoided. I thought he was going to be out for the rest of the season. The injury that he had, that looked pretty bad. It was only a ankle sprain, so we'll see moving forward. Keep an eye on him, but he was phenomenal today. Really able to flip the field, especially when the offense was sputtering. You didn't want to see, bad punts or how it was with the Colts where, they even had Daniel Carlson out there, kicking punts. And he kicked like the 30, 35-yard punt. It was ugly out there. So it was good to see A.J. Cole back and have him look more like his Pro Bowl self. And like I said, he was really able to flip the field and assist the defense in making plays deep in the Titans' side of the field consistently. Alec Bachman, I think the Raiders have found their punt returner for the remainder of the season in Alec Bachman. He was excellent today with punts. Really was able to flip the field again. The offense was just running more efficient and was able to take more deep shots. They could have easily had 35, 40 points in this game. But it's a process, and they're paying Chip Kelly the big bucks, so hopefully he can figure it out. I think play action definitely has to get better moving forward, but offensive line has got it. It's got to get better. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll definitely talk about that later in the week. But just all in all, just a great game. Dylan Lobby as well. Wanted to shout him out. Had a couple good kickoff returns, made tackle on special teams. Just kind of that all-around consistent guy. And, big shout out to him. Seeing he was like in top 5 in kickoff return yardage per return. So, he's definitely carving a lane out for himself. And like I said, again, shout out to Alec Bachman. Really had some good, crucial punt returns of, between 20 to 35 yards. Really was out there doing well. And the special teams, again, shout out to the special teams. They had a good bounce back game. But 2-4 on the season. The Chiefs are on the menu next week. We will have, as always, our preview show. Chiefs Raiders from Arrowhead. I'm going to get ready here to watch the actual Chiefs play against the Detroit Lions here, and it's about to be on the next 10 minutes or so. But just wanted to hop on here, kind of give my highlights. Genty gets a game ball for me on the offensive side. Michael Mayer as well, and Trey Tucker. Big shout out to those guys. And on the defensive side of the ball, Devin White, Max Crosby, and Jonah Lalulu, I'm going to give him a game ball on the defense. Hopefully both sides can improve on this, again, as they have the Kansas City Chiefs on the menu. Like, comment, and subscribe. I2G Radio, Apple Podcasts, letter I, number 2, letter G Radio. Also, I2G Radio on Spotify, as well as on YouTube, Viva Las Raiders Podcast. Check us out over there. Or for all my hip-hop heads that are Raider fans, of course, on the mainstay, the site, www.illuminati2g.com. D-Nice, I2G Radio, Viva Las Raiders signing off. Peace.